Hey, Thomas here. I hope you're doing great and thanks so much for checking out my 2018 goals page where I share all my goals along with the progress that I've made, which I update every month. And once you're here, I don't want you to walk away empty-handed. So in this short little video, I want to share with you a few tips and tricks and strategies that you can apply in your all goal setting process, which I hope that will help you maybe reach your goals a little faster and a little bit more effectively. You've probably heard of the saying, failing to plan is planning to fail. And I couldn't agree more with this. When I got into personal development in my early 20s, the first thing I learned was how to set goals. Now, I've been refining this skill over the last 12 years or so. And it honestly has been one of the most important skills I've learned in my life because it helped me create intentional and strategic progress towards my goals. Because if you don't have your goals, or if you don't know how to set them properly or how to pursue them correctly, then the chances are that you're just kind of blindly drifting through life. And hey, in the last 10 years, I've really turned my life and myself around, and I have built very successful coaching business in the last 5 years or so, only because it has been my goal, it's been my intention, and I've been making strategic progress month after month, week after week towards that goal. So if you're new to goal setting, I hope you find these tips useful. Apply them. Don't just watch or listen to the video. Take these tips, apply it to your own goal setting process, and let me know how it works for you. So the first thing is that I would like you to think of the macro groups, the big areas of your life that you would like to set your goals for. So if you look at my goals, my macro groups are business, coaching, personal development, relationships, health and fitness, and a few others. Your life may be completely different. Maybe in your macro groups are travel. Maybe it's spiritual growth. That's totally fine. Your life is very different from mine. If you're completely stuck and you can't figure out what your macro groups are, you can always go with the basic trinity, which is health, wealth, relationships. The step number 2 is that you want to identify the goals for each of these macro groups. You may have 3 goals for each, you may have 30. That's completely fine, although I encourage you to start with fewer rather than too many. It's quite easy to get overwhelmed if you set yourself too many goals and you spread yourself too thin. The best way to identify the goals is to look at the macro group. For example, it's your health. So think about the areas that you would like to change. Think about the areas that don't work. You can write them down and think about the goal, the results that you would like to get, the outcome, the change that you would like to see for that particular group or for that particular problem. Usually it's the opposite. That should be your goal. So for each group, identify, I would say 3 to 5 goals. Now, a little tip about the actual goals. It should be as specific as you possibly can. If it's measurable in some way, if it's tangible, if it should be binary goal. You should be completely, clearly, unambiguously able to say, yes, I've accomplished that, or no, I haven't. Don't set goals in terms of that will be based on feelings or emotions, because it's a very gray area and it's just very hard to actually monitor or measure your progress or know that you've accomplished that goal. The next step, which shouldn't be surprising, is that you need to monitor or review your goals regularly. I personally sit down every Sunday and look at all the goals as you see them on the website. It's my little ritual. I sit down, look at the goals, and I ask myself, what progress have I made for this goal in the last 7 days? And I kind of reflect on the progress that I've made, and I plan for the next coming week what progress I need to make, what action I can take in the next 7 days to move a little bit forward, to move a little bit closer to achieving that goal. One thing I'd like you to keep in mind is that you need to be open-minded about the way you get to your goals, because you will need to readjust every now and then. This is where the review or the monitoring of your goals is so important, because when you set the goal, you may have an idea of how you're going to pursue it, but you'll find out that that's not the most effective or most efficient way. So when you sit down and review your goals, think about whether there is a better way to do that, whether you need to readjust your strategy. Do you need to work harder? Do you need to work smarter? Do you need to be more efficient with your time? All these adjustments are okay. There is no straight line to your goals. Little quirky facts that you may have not known. You know, when you travel somewhere by plane, you probably didn't know that the plane is actually, of course, most of the time, they have certain checkpoints that the plane needs to fly through, but in between the checkpoints, the autopilot is constantly correcting because there are different winds that are pushing the plane a little bit. Of course, there are weather conditions and so on. So the course is being constantly readjusted, and really pursuing your goals is very, very similar. Keep that in mind. Don't get frustrated if there is not straight line to your goals. Sometimes you need to go back, sometimes you need to go around. There are different ways to get to your goal. So be flexible, be open-minded, and be smart in the way you're pursuing your goals. And now a little bonus tip I have for you. When you read my goals, you've probably noticed that I start every single one of them with "I will easily," and then I finish the description of the goal. I've had many people ask me, why do I do that? Why do I say I will easily accomplish this or that? It's because, as I said, I review my goals every week, and to be honest, I look at my goals pretty much every day. And when I read it, and I always read "I will easily XYZ," it will set an emotion. It will prime my mind in how I feel about the goal, how I feel about the process. And because I read them so often, and I so often read "I will easily," it makes me feel literally at ease in pursuing my goals. And I can tell you this, many of my goals are very hard to accomplish. Some of the goals I set are so hard that I may not accomplish them. But that's why I want this, the condition to be set, the emotion to be set by saying "I will easily." Now, you may choose to use something different, but to maybe demonstrate the effect of that little phrase before my actual goals, is that imagine that I said, "It will be extremely hard and exhausting to accomplish XYZ." Now, just by saying that, I can already feel differently. My mind is expecting the hardship. Whereas if I say "I will easily accomplish XYZ," my mind is expecting that it's going to be easy. I feel more motivated. My expectation is different. So that's a little almost subliminal effect that I'm leveraging there. You may use it, you may not. You don't have to use it. You may want to use something different, whatever works for you. If you get motivated by hardship, go for it, be my guest. This was just to explain to you why I do this, because you may want to use it in a similar way. So that's it. I hope that helped. Now scroll down, check out my goals, see how I do it, set your own, and feel free to drop me an email, drop me a message, maybe with your own goals. So I can have a look, and maybe I can give you a quick feedback if I find time for that. When you're setting your goals, remember one thing, that okay is not enough.